$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farracon is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Imam Rahim here, Best of Covenant, breaker 7 seals. Let's get this out the way here, brothers and sisters. This is Farracon talking. We're going to give you his presentation, his interview. He's saying, you can back check it. He's saying that he's Caucasian. If his father's Caucasian, he has to be Caucasian. Black face, still Caucasian. Your nature, your father, they carry the seed. So he feels he's really Caucasian. He's not one of us. He's not a seed of Abraham, and he couldn't possibly be the Messiah. So, no need to argue about it. Here it is. Go check on your own. Here's the link. The link is also included in the description. Here's the link. It's also included in the description. Bottom size, case closed. So if that doesn't do it for you, that's your problem. That's his daddy. Certified. Do a background check on him. That's his daddy. That's the picture. Percival Clark, white Caucasian Portuguese Jew. Who he says his mother said raped her. So it sounds viable because he claims she tried. Remember, he's that holy child, the Messiah, the one chose by God. Well, why she tried to abort his ass 3 times? She must have been the devil. Because why would she want to abort a holy child that she got from God? She tried to abort him 3 times, and then says when he was growing up, she had to beat his ass all the time for lying. That's out of his own mouth. And then it says, yeah, teach him how to love black people. Do you have to teach birds to love birds? You have to teach lions to love lions? So why you got to teach him, if he's one of us, why I got to teach him, look. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. America, hold America. Let people go. No, I ain't gonna let them go. They ain't going nowhere. I'm coming hold on to them. They just want. They putting food on my plate. Put shoes on my feet. All that's about to come to end, brothers and sisters. Farracon's days are numbered. His days are tied to this war. Accused by our brother, I'll be cast down. Battle of the minds. That's what we're going to talk about today, brothers and sisters. The broadcast today, every time I think can't get worse, they get worse. That was totally incoherent. Did you make any sense out of that at all? That was the most incoherent bullshit I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I thought it was bad. You're trying to figure out who's the worst, who's the most ignorant. Ishmael, this one, Daniel, Jeffrey, but they all speak for Farracon, so right? So they represent how ignorant. See, the point is, that shows how ignorant he is, because those are his disciples. But remember, he's not supposed to speak anymore. He's supposed to be shut up. He's supposed to shut up. It's sick. Their whole crew is pathetic. They're ignorant as hell. They know nothing. And we can prove it. Why would they take advantage of that $5,000? Why would they take advantage of that $5,000? Okay. Let's get into so we got here, brothers and sisters. Oh, it's such. No, 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 no. Oh, oh no, it's just I'm doing things wrong here. Okay, no capture. Right. Then Windows capture. Right. Oh, that's why. Yep. My sister brought to have new system in. The whole system wouldn't work anymore because it was Windows 10 or whatever. Still trying to get used to it. Wait a minute. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I think that's about right. Oops. Almost there. There you go. Okay, now another problem. Mhm. Okay. Okay, so that works. Uh-oh. Oh boy. And one of those days. Okay. Okay, again, Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Sulman Rahim here, Master of the Covenant, breaker of seven seals. We're going to have somewhat of a critique of what they talk about today. Because all bullshit, total. First, let's get a couple things out the way. And see, I mean, we got so much information up there. It's hard. You say, how does hell these? Well, it says, who the Lord will consume, what Lord? To the mess of the covenant. He's referred to as the Lord. Who the Lord will consume as a mess with the spirit of his mouth and destroy with the brightness of his coming. And the brightness of coming is about to happen. As lightning strikes, not strike from the east even to the west, it's the brightness of his coming. And that would happen during this war, while this war is going on. Okay, I still got a problem with my camera. Okay. One day I'm trying to get me a new camera. Every day it's a problem. They're trying to give me a stroke. Okay? So it's not going to work, but hold on, brothers and sisters. Every day is a new experience.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa.
See if this works. It wouldn't work yesterday. I had to change, and now it works today. Seems like. So that tells me something. It's going to be a problem too. So I have 3 cameras. They're having fun. They probably having a beer. Say, hey, man, let's really mess with this guy. All right. Oh, come on, what's going on with this thing? Oh, there you go. Nope, that's not going to work either. Because none of my cameras, I got 3 cameras, none are going to work. Let's see. Oh, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Okay, that's a little better. Camera problems. Remarkable. Here. Away. This other way. This other way. Okay. See how this works. Try it again, brothers and sisters. Again, like I was saying about Mr. Farracon, right? This is what he says. We're going to show you the things he says. Totally, he claims he represents Elijah Muhammad, and it's obviously he's not. They said, well, what's going on? Well, you decide. We'll get information, brothers and sisters. You do what you want to do with it. Now, this is what he said. We got proof. I'm going to show you the video. He's saying this stuff. He's saying people with nappy hair curse. He said that's a curse. See, they're always talking science. They have no idea what science. They're ignorant people when it comes to science. Because if you Google, they tell you nappy hair is the best hair there is. It's the most dominant. If you got nappy hair, you can produce children that have straight hair. But straight hair people cannot produce children that have nappy hair. Can't do it. Black people can produce white people. White people cannot produce black people. So which one is dominant? And if you got a nappy hair, you have a choice. You can make it straight if you want to, or you keep it nappy. You have a choice. But if you got straight hair, you don't have that choice. And if you white, if you black, you have a choice. You can make yourself lighter. But white people don't have that choice. I mean, they can, but right? You see what I'm saying? Because look what the Arabs have done. Look at all through the Middle East. They changed themselves white. But you can't get white people to change themselves black. It's this thing called DNA, biology. See, they don't believe in science over there. They tell you, oh, it doesn't matter who your mother and father is because God made you in the womb. So in other words, it doesn't matter that Farracon follows the devil because it doesn't matter because God made you in the womb. So what's the point of having seed and egg? And then God's a man, but yet he's in everybody's womb making babies. I mean, none of that stuff adds up over there. But see, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But see, he's saying that nappy hair and nose and mouth, all that, that's ugly. We're going to show you praise what he's saying that. But that's beautiful over here. Hair hanging down. No lips, no nose. They're beautiful. Why? Because he's one of them. But he's saying, our children are ugly. They're cursed. He's saying, because we black and because we on the outside with nappy hair, that shows God just took what was inside of us and made it manifest the world to show how ugly we are. That was the whole thing behind that million man farce. Because he was telling the whole world how ugly, and they still keep on presenting that like that was some kind of great victory. It was victory for devils and demons. Because if you say it's like that thing said, when you stop beating your wife, right? Well, maybe you don't beat your wife, but to answer that question, it was like you admit that you have been. And so if you raise your hand and says, I'm not going to pimp anymore, I'm not going to beat my children anymore, I'm not going to beat my wife anymore, I'm going to work, I'm going to take care, I'm going to do my business, I'm going to stand up and be a man. If you raise your hand and say, I'm going to stop doing those things, then you tell me, well, that's what you've been doing. That's what they had you doing the so-called Million Man March. It was a big fake. 99% of people there wasn't even with Farracon. They was with the preachers. That's why they didn't show up the second time, because he took credit for something that he had no credit, because he's a big liar. He took credit for the so-called Million Man, like he called it, and 99% of the people there, 99.9% of the people there was with the preachers. The preachers organized it. And what he called the second one, they said, oh, we backed it. Okay, you call it, then you have your God do it. And so nobody showed up. And that coward didn't even show up himself. That's how sick he is. The second one, they never talk about the second one, do they? Because nobody showed up. And plus, he had women and children, still couldn't get anywhere near a million. And then that coward didn't even show up himself. See? Because a goddamn liar. Come on, God told me, except the Million Man March. Who told you about the second one then? And then they had you something to admitting to the world that you're the stereotype they've been saying about you. See, they don't take care of themselves, bunch of niggas, they don't work, they don't take care of their families, and they bad citizens, they bad crime gang members, all that kind of stuff. So he got you waving your hand saying, yeah, I was all that. But I ain't gonna do it no more. But now he's telling you still bad, right? So somebody lies somewhere. And you understand that? That's why it says, Aaron would make the people a laughing stock before their enemies. He made you a laughing stock of the whole world because you still been saying everything Elijah Muhammad was trying to do, everything anybody that's respectful was trying to do, he just blew it away. A shitstorm. Because you had you admitting that no, you all of those things. You're wicked, you're stupid, you're incompetent. You don't take care of your family. You're just a bunch of niggers. But I'm not going to be a nigger no more. And you still don't get it. That's how dumb we are. He made a fool of us before the whole world. Of our people. And we, the Million Man March, the Million Man March, Million Man March, Million Man March. Yeah, we niggers. But we're not going to be niggers no more because Farracon. No, he's holy and but but nobody followed him afterwards. How come he didn't? His membership has went down to nearly zero. His membership went down to nearly zero. That's it. Who the Lord will consume with the spirit of his mouth and destroy it. Right? That means he's being consumed. You can't even feel it. His main mosque, so-called mosque on Sundays, is damn near empty. And the few people there, not even believers, that's visitors. The few people that are there are visitors, and those girls in that front row up there, look at 99 years old or whatever. Most of them ain't even members. They're paid by the FBI to show up, so it looks like they got people in there. Not even Muslim. But not Muslim anyway, to begin with, tell you the truth. It's a big joke. Just look at it. They try to get side views and stuff. On the men's side, they got the first 5, 6, 7 rows. I mean, first 6, 7 rows, and then they got men every other row, so try to make it look like there's more people. And then the rest is empty. On the female side, they got them sitting next to each other, so there ain't no COVID thing. So how come the males are one seat separate, one seat apart? Right, where they gay or something? And then the women right next to each other, but in the back rows, no one's there. And when I was there between 7 and 75, right, that place stayed packed on Wednesdays, Fridays, and definitely on Sundays. I don't have to say definitely because it's packed all the time. Standing room only. If the message came out, forget it. All Stony Island was rocking. Being consumed. And this is what he said about you. Our children are ugly with nappy hair. That nappy hair is a natural crown. He said nobody had nappy hair before. That's a bullshit. That's a lie. God's had nappy hair. That was right. The angels had hair like, I wouldn't call it straight. They see Ethiopians and Somalis. I wouldn't call it straight. It was laid down, but it wasn't straight like devil hair. Man, sick. Listen to him. I think that's the next slide here. Yeah.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair, because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you so busy frying it. That's why you so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black. But they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight. Yes, sir. Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement.
Yes, sir.
Of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically, because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion.
That's too difficult to understand. He's telling you curse. We curse. Because we're evil, rebellious. That's not what Master taught. Show me Master say anything like that. That's not Master Muhammad taught. So we're righteous people. Because he's a devil. He hates us. So there's two types of hate. Right? There's the hate, the natural hate. Like maybe dogs hate cats. Right? They naturally hate us. See, so in that case, that kind of hate, right? The hate comes first. Then you find justification for that hate. Oh, well, the Bible says they're ham and they're supposed to be slaves, so we can do this to them. And they're dumb and they're savages. See? So they find reason, justification for their hate. They already hate, and they hate you. They hate us to begin with. And now they look for reason, justifications to justify the hate. The other side of hate is when you have justification, right? Justification precedes the hate. One justification precedes the hate, another hate precedes the justification. So their hate preceded the justification. They hate us initially, but our hate, right, is the justification precedes the hate, because we hate them because what they did to us. We naturally hate them because we made them. We could stop them. We could stop that. Could that put a cold stop in that? Very beginning. See, but they gave us justification to hate them. All the things they did to us. It's two sides of hate. So they natural haters, and they look for this is fine, justified, and they gave us justification to hate. Understand the difference? Start thinking, brothers and sisters. But the point is, remember, justification is data. So you have to have the data. If you don't get the data, then you won't get the hate. Yes, if you don't get that, gets to the mind thing. Justification is data, facts, information. If you don't get that, you don't get the hate. You understand? But if you hate already, right? You cannot find justification. If you can't find justification, then you create justification. See? So you create it, because the hate is going to be there. You just justify reason to justify it in your mind, your conscience. Right? But if the justification precedes the hate, then if you can eliminate the justification information, eliminate that, then you won't get the hate. You see where I'm going, brothers and sisters? You can stop the hate. Justification is there. But if you can block the justification, diminish the justification, dilute the justification, you won't get the hate. See where I'm going with that, brothers and sisters? So the point is, if they don't know what you did to them, you won't hate them. See? Because you know they did this to your mother, your father, that kind of stuff, man. You all did to my parents. But if you don't know they did that, you won't hate them. You may be in love with him. You don't have to hate him, so you get along with him. Because you don't know, you're not aware of the justifications for that hate. Excuse me, you don't have any justifications to hate. See? Because you need justification to hate if you're not a hater. Let me say it correctly. You need justifications to hate if you're not a hater. So if you don't have justification, you won't hate. So that's why I have people out here in love with them, liking them, face bumping them, and everything else, because they don't have the data of what they did to us. Because you have to have, right? So therefore, their natural tendency is to like, to get along, and they know that. That's why they're going out of their mind, out of the way, to distort history and all these. You notice all these ads now. Oh, I forgot. I forgot to do that. Maybe I'll do it my next presentation. Maybe I'll do it at the end of this one. They got a presentation out there now. Presentation out there now, right? It's probably some kind of AI presentation. Now, it's a white guy, middle age, but his son's a teenager, black. Not light black, black. Where does that come? Hey, Dad. That's the, hey, Dad. And then, so he's having a problem because he can't get promotion because he don't know AI well. So his son said, hey, what's going on, right? So then they show his wife, she's black, not light, black. He's white all the way. See what I'm saying? So he goes, takes the AI call, all that kind of stuff. So what's that all about? Why are they doing it? That's a big ad they got out there. Then they got another ad where they got a white boy and a white girl, and they licking the same ice cream, lick the same one. He said, "Look, she can lick on it." You think this is a joke? You think they're not playing? Then they got Denzel Washington. He got this movie out now. Something about the generals of Jordan or something. All about patriotism, giving your life for the government, right? Going to the military, getting back. You think all this is coincidence? Information, controlling your mind, manipulating your mind. See? So he died with his country's great, all that kind of stuff. God told you, Denzel Washington, he's a demon. He played that movie where he was a slave, whatever. He saw the information was there. But see, right? But he still come out and because of Washington. That's no story. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. But mind war. So, wait a minute, they got another ad. What's the other ad? Oh, well, that's true. I said, they're licking. I mean, he take a lick. You know, I love my wife, but I ain't gonna do that. She lick ice cream. That's hers. Man. And that's what, and in the movies, all of a sudden, black executives only companies doing billion-dollar deals. See, your bathroom is large, is bigger than their bathroom is bigger than your whole house. Just their bathroom. You get lost in the mansions. Doing billion-dollar deals. You got Kevin Hart. He's a super agent now. He got his whole CIA squad. And he's doing billion-dollar deals and stuff. You're buying all this crap. Because they know this war is coming. And they want you to help them. Right? If they can't just get rid of it, but they want the ultimate game is ultimate strategy is ultimate aim is to get rid of us all together. But they don't want you to wake up and do unto them as they've done to you. Come on, brothers and sisters. Yeah. She said, "Are you going crazy over there?" I was about to tear the damn TV up. I said, "Man, well, I can't keep watching this crap." See, because I understand what it is. I'm not saying I get brain cancer, and I know that's going to give me brain cancer. It's all bullshit. But that's what they're feeding our people. That big Bill Cosby thing. You know, right now, my children had nothing to do with me. That's probably 90% because of Bill Cosby. Because when I was growing up, before Bill Cosby came along, this bullshit, children, black families, they might have been in trouble. They might have been impressed, but they was tight. Black family was tight. The mother stayed home and took care of children, family. Man, he might have doing construction work. My father broke his back doing construction work. He died at 40 years old because he broke his back doing construction work. 40 years old, he was dead. She had a picture of him. He looked young. But he broke his back doing construction work, doing that jackhammer stuff. 40 years old, he was dead. And for years, 5 years, he had hurt his back. And he had this guy, he's a doctor, called himself a Jew, right? Tell my father, he had a kidney problem. So don't pill. I saw it advertisement the other day. I said, they still selling stuff? Because my father used to send me to the store to get it. Don't pills. right? What the problem was he had discolored disc in his spine. But he didn't give a damn. He taking tone pills. The man was a nervous wreck. He was terrible for the last 5 years. My mother died when I was 9. 5 years I lived with him, and it was a horror show. He was always angry. He was always hurting, right? And I didn't know, and they told me he was taking these damn dome pills until he couldn't work anymore. It just got to where he couldn't do anything. So somebody's job told him this a second opinion, go some another doctor. But I said, you got a dislocated disc in your spine. Never had that done when his first ass. So don't give me that shit about, no. I know I grew up in Newark. I knew how the game went. See, so-called Jews, they ran the real estate and the stores. And they have one that called Gottlieb. You go in there, right, and they start to get food on credit. And it was low grade food to begin with. And if you got on credit, you pay more for it. And then the housing, right? They rent all the housing, and the Italians they handle the mafia stuff. That's where it was, and politics. That's where it was in Newark. So they can talk all this shit they want to. I knew I was good. I knew how it was. I knew how it is. If he had told him, diagnosed him like he should have, I'd probably still be alive now. 40 years old. Because he had the surgery. He had the surgery, and he died. He couldn't survive the surgery. He was too weak. Because he suffered 5 years. By the time he could serve, he was really weak. See? Because this jerk, this lying dog, why did he go in his community and practice? Why are they coming to the black community and practice? Why they come over there and practice with their bullshit? Come here, kidney, whatever, something, dome pills, whatever that's supposed to do. And then my mother, she died, she was in her early 20s, because she had a goddamn polio shot. They knew they had cancer in it, but they didn't tell people. She got a lot of brothers and sisters. She's the only one that took that shot. She the only one died in her early 20s. Early 20s. So they can talk that shit they want to. Well, I might be 77 years old, but I still remember. They would have been alive if these people wasn't doing their bullshit. She was early 20s. So they can tell me anything they want. I don't want to hear it. The thing is that all this crap, they control it. The thing about Willie Lynch, they're controlling the information. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute. Now let's talk this shit show they gave today. Total shit show. Now I'm gonna do some secret of it because that's part of my mission. Take down that lion dog Farracon. But he was talking about Nicodemus. See, that's so stupid. See, Nicodemus was a demon. And when he met Joshua, there's no Jesus. He never existed. I give $5,000 to prove to me he never existed. The name is not in the manuscripts anywhere. That name was made up by King James in his translation of the Bible. It's not even in his Old Testament. The name Jesus doesn't exist in there, and doesn't exist in the manuscripts, the Hebrew or the Aramaic. That's a made-up name. It came from Zeus. When he translated to Greek, why would he translate the Greek and translate it back to English? Why would he do that? Because it's a trick. Because they knew our history. It says they knew our history. It says he taught Adam all our names. They knew our history. They knew their time. They only had a season to survive. They knew it. They'd only rule us for a season. They have a season, then we would take control again. And so they said, no, it ain't gonna happen. They were told not to touch us, not to touch that tree. They did. It was a tree. See? You understand? So this demon thing right here, right? See, Nicodemus, See, Joshua, they didn't want you to know about Joshua. Joshua is the one, is the real Messiah. That's what Scripture tell you. He's Messiah. And so I'm not going to go off base here. Every time some of my other things come up, right? You understand? One of the things I wanted to show you, let me see if I can keep my thoughts straight here. Joshua Messiah, right? But they had this guy, I should just play it. I can't play it right now because I don't have it loaded. But he's saying that the book of Joshua, they're saying what's happening over there now in false Israel, over in the Middle East. They said because they're trying to fill the book of God, Joshua. They say Joshua, right? That was the Messiah. But over 2,000 years ago, they said he came and he wiped out, he brought his people out of Egypt and took them back to Promised Land and slew everybody who said Promised Land. And they say that's what they're acting out back there. And he says, but that never happened in the past. That's in the Bible, Joshua. That's the story of Joshua. Joshua, he's the Messiah. He led people out of Egypt into the Promised Land, and he slew everybody who was in the Promised Land, wiped them out. He took his land back. That's the story. So he says, oh man, that never happened. They going along with that, but that never happened in the past. Wait a minute, hold on. It's in the Bible. Yeah, it never happened in the past. Okay. It never happened in the past, right? So maybe it's prophecy. Oh, he can't take that idea. He can't go down that road. Well, look at Joshua. That's the one you call Jesus. That's what they call it. And Google will tell you that itself. If you Google it, they will tell you that the person that you call Jesus 2,000 years ago, if you call him Jesus, he wouldn't know what you're talking about. I said, who's that? He wouldn't know because that name didn't exist until 5 years ago. His name was Yahshua or Joshua. So why they change it? Back to the story of Joshua, right? Okay. So he said, remember, they told Joshua the same thing, the Jews. We never been enslaved to anybody. Why you say the truth will make you free? We never been enslaved to anybody. No, see? But no, they don't want to add this up. Because that's what this person I'm talking about, there was some professor, Malchild or something like that. He's a Jewish Jeffrey something. Anyway, see, he said that happened, but see, he can't say that that's prophecy. He just says, "Oh, well, it didn't happen in the past, so it must be just some kind of mythology." So, but it's in the Bible, and that's the Bible they claim to believe. It's in the Old Testament that the so-called Jews claim for their own. But he says they prove that it didn't happen in the past. Archaeology proved it didn't happen in the past. But he can't say, well, maybe it's prophecy. Because we say that, it's over. Case closed. If he says it's case closed, because he says prophecy, that's us. That's happening right now. See? But they can't do that because that would, you see the danger? They always do it. They always got this big black spot because when they come there, and it was clear that that's oh, why can't he say it's prophecy? Because it says prophecy, you understand? It's over. Because that means, but they've been hiding this so-called Jesus figure. Joshua's here. We're the ones here in captivity, and we're about to go to our land, and our land's a raven. We're about to take it. That's the prophecy right there. See, that's why I gotta say, just like chapter 20, they tell you that one. No, all deception. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. I'm trying to get to it now, but I want to get to my main point here. Chapter 20 of Revelation is their past. It's their 1,000 years of dark ages, which they say the abyss, but they can't tell you that. That's the future. Or it's deception. Because if he says the past, then you know who to recognize they are. You know who Gog and Magog is. You know who Satan is. You know who everybody is. They ain't invisible people. All that invisible shit they came until 5 years ago too. Everything's invisible. Well, why do we give a damn about it? Satan's invisible, angels invisible, God's invisible. Hell, what do we care? Everything's invisible all of a sudden. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. But anyway, he wants to talk about Nicodemus. See, Nicodemus, it's a hint. Nicodemus was a demon. What's a demon? Half devil, half man. That means a black-faced Caucasian. That's what a demon is, period. I mean, that's not my no conjecture. That's the fact. That's why Farracon never talked about demons, because he's one of them. He's a chief demon in Malachi, not Malachi, in Mark, Book of Mark, called Legion. Why I say his name is Legion? Lewis, Eugene, Grounds. He turned NOI backwards. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, brothers and sisters. Yeah, what about GG? No, his mother's maiden name was Sarah May Grounds. Now they went and tried to change that. Because when I first did the research, that's what it said. And now I try to say, well, Sarah May Grounds was some white lady in Texas bullshit, whatever. So they try to say it's something else. That's another story I'm not going into. Anyway, Nicodemus. See, there's a hint right there, but they don't see that because they're stupid. This was today. I'm going to the rest of the stuff, right? Now, mind. Now, those dummies over there, they have no idea what a mind is. If I can this crazy equation, I made it very clear to you. Mind is just data. You get data in your eyes, you get data in your ears, all that stuff, information comes in. That's data. The mind is not a physical thing. They don't even talk about what the mind's inside the brain. Oh, so you got a brain inside the brain? No, the mind is just data. And data can be manipulated. And right now, we had a mind that devils gave us. Their mind, because right now, all the data you got coming in, that's your mind. TV shows, people you meet, what you hear, your education, that's the mind of Caucasian mind they created. They took us out of our mind, was home, living our culture. You might say culture, but that was the mind we had. It took us out of there and gave us their mind. So if you take a cat and take it to Dog Island, he's going to have to act like dogs to survive. So you're going to have a dog mind, which make him hate cats. And it's going to make him sick because it's going to go against his nature. But he's got to have that mind to survive if he wants to survive among dogs. So Dog Island, environment, everything there, that's the mind. It's nothing physical. So if he wants his mind back, he has to go back to Catland, Cat Island. So to get our mind back, right, we have to, that's why the angel begins the process of getting your mind back. But that's why I go tribulation, because that finishes the process. You got to get the hell out of here, because you're still affected by the mind here, but now it's at war with each other. Because the war, I said, is a battle of minds. The war of tribulation is actually a mind war. Because you're trying to get the hell out of here, and you're still affected by their minds. They're attacking you, because that's their reality. Your reality is to get the hell out of here, right? See? So you've got two minds in conflict with each other. That's what it boils down. Everything calls down to mind anyway. Brain calculates. Knowledge, knowledge with understanding, those things are things to be processed. Mind doesn't process anything, it's just data. Your brain processes it. So it doesn't have to accept knowledge. You got people right here that have no knowledge at all, so what about their mind? You got a book, you got a book, there's knowledge in the book, but if you don't read it, you don't get it. So knowledge you get, you have to accept the knowledge. That's knowledge, right? Wisdom is processing that knowledge and applying it. Processing and applying it. Understanding is understanding what the hell you're doing. It's still the brain has, all that stuff has to happen in the brain. But the mind is just the data that comes in. And they can manipulate it. Because they can say, okay, right? Remember I told you earlier, I said, they gave us plenty of justification for hating them. But justification is data. So they tell you a whole different story. They don't tell you about what they did. So therefore you don't hate them. That's why we get black folks being nice to them and getting along with them and everything else, because they don't know the information. The demons do, they're going to be with him anyway. You know what I'm saying? You get it now? That's why they go out their way to make it look like everything was fine, everything's good. People writing books. You got Negroes writing books. Oh man, slavery was good. We learned skills and talents. We became civilized. See, all that is to take the justification away, because the evils they did wasn't evil. So that's why people are acting like that. And so therefore, but see, the problem with it, when the problem here is that it's just data, but your brain processes it. Now your brain is going to be inclined, prejudiced in favor of your nature. So we hear two different levels of two different ideas. The one that appeals to your nature, that's the one that you're going to accept. You're going to reject the other one. That's the problem. Unless there's a fear factor. A fear factor will say, even though you better not accept that, that's happened during 20 years. You better not accept, this is what they're saying, you better not accept that, even though if you did, you don't get killed. They torture you, burn you. They found that you was accepting anything other than what they were saying, you was dead. That's the fear factor. But you take the fear factor out of the way, then they hear two conflicting ideas. The one they're going to incline to is the one that is conforms to their nature. That's the war. That's the angel. Put information out, put information out, put information. Because the fear factor is coming less and less and less. So now they hit both of them, right? Now demons, they get it and they ain't gonna like it. Because it's against their nature, they're gonna come against you. They're gonna hate you. They hate us anyway. Remember, Farracon, listen, we got all kinds of stuff. How much hate black people. But he love white people. So you put information out there, the demons, right? They're gonna hit information, but it's gonna be more inclined to fit their nature. So hey, they're gonna be against it. Hey man, why you saying that stuff, man? You're a hater. But original people, they hear it, right? The angel message, and they hear the devil's message, and they're going, they're going to bow to the message that more conforms to nature, the angel message. And so over time, right, so in other words, you got a billion units of data here, of data you already got. Remember, they already fills up with data. We already got a mind, right? So he's coming with 1 unit of data a day, right? So that knocks out one data. So he still got a lot left. You got to keep on going to eventually you reach a critical point where they say, damn, all this shit is wrong, and they drop it all. When you reach that critical point, they say, oh, because you get conflicting, you say, oh man, I think that's right. I think we ought to see the man. Oh, I think that is Elijah. That's what it says. He's on, little bit by little bit. See? Now your reactions is going to be based on your calculation of the data you get. So if you get bad data, you're going to have bad actions. That's what mind is. Not that bullshit they was talking about. It made no sense, was incoherent. Did you get anything out of it? So our actions are a reflection of the data we've been getting, and how much we process. You got to process it. Just because you get data's there, you got a book. You don't have to read it. You don't have to listen to a song. You have to listen to these people. So you have to allow it to come in. And when it come in, you have to process it. And then decide we're going to act on it or not. That gets to the brain part. So you get data, processing, brain, data, mind, processing, and then the action. That's where it is, simple. Not that crazy shit they was talking about. See? Mind, just information. That's all it is. And right now, the best way to get our mind is to get away from this reality. Because we bombarded with their We were bombarded with their information. That we niggers, that, we this, we don't know our names, we don't know our history. All we know is what they told us. And now they're telling us that, hey, we good people. We're people in the North, we're good. Because we stopped slavery. Because we were tired of people in the South doing that stuff to y'all. So we stood up for y'all as bullshit. The most worst slavery took place in the North. See, but you didn't know that. Look at Harriet Tubman. She was enslaved in New York, not in Georgia. What was the capital? It was in Pennsylvania before it moved down to Virginia. When they set this stuff, when they were slaving people, Jefferson, all of them, that was in Pennsylvania, not down there. On top of all that, right? On top of all that, I don't want to get too deep into this process. But first of all, it wasn't slavery. Look up slavery. Slavery doesn't include burning, raping, sodomizing. It doesn't include that. That's another way to soften it up. Oh, we're slaves. They've been slaves all over the world. Nothing like what happened to us. Raping our women, trying to eradicate us, feeding our children gators. They whitewash back. Oh, well, it's still slavery. No. The Holocaust. On top of that, right? Okay. For 40 years, they did everything to us possible. But now, the thing is, they want to make it seem like it never happened. And like I said, when it comes to slavery, they had the Industrial Revolution. I don't want to go too deep into this process. You heard Industrial Revolution? That means the industry, they didn't need us in the fields anymore. They didn't need black folks in the fields anymore. Now, the house Negroes, they was in the house because they was his children. His blackface raped children. So they were still niggas as far as he was concerned. But the point is, they were still his children. So they lived in the house, they had better clothes, better food, and everything else. We had chitlins and carrying on. That's what chitlins came. See, all this stuff they hide. They took the seed. They call it, that's what they called it back there. If you go back there, they would say, hey man, give them some chitlins. But now they took the seed. They call it chitlins. And they still go along with it. The point is, they didn't need, the South, the North was the one that got most angry about it, because the point is that when the Industrial Revolution came along, right, they started having factories where they call plants. They don't call them plants anymore. It sounds more like plantation, right? That's what it was. Plantations. They call them plants. Now they call them factories. And so they was like cotton gin, all that kind of stuff, right? So the thing is, what they did is that they didn't need you in the field anymore. So slave master, see, because you walk around, your name is James Washington. That wasn't a name. That was a tag. You walk at these names, and you see, we wake up in a minute. That means you were owned by Washington. You're owned by Master Washington. You're owned by Master John. You're owned by Master Brown. You're owned by Master McNichols. You're owned by Master McIntosh. So your name is James McIntosh. All that, everybody know, oh, he's owned by James. And so you still want to walk around with that? That's how I know. What's your name? My name is James Nicholson. Oh, that's Nixon's. That's Nixon's slave. That's Nixon nigga. That's where the name came from. Then everybody that was a slave in there, that was a nigga, everybody had the same last name. It was a name for ownership. So now you still walk around with owning the name, master's name. You see what? See what? That. You see? So the thing is, what they was doing is that Massa, he didn't need you in the fields no more. So he would go into the plants and tell the plant owner, hey, you paying these white folks $5 an hour, which is probably a lot of money back then, right? Right? Well, $5 an hour, I'll give you 10 niggas. You give me $5 an hour and you get 10. How you gonna go along with that? And they ain't gonna give you no trouble, they're gonna work hard, they ain't gonna backtrash, but make slaves. And that's what happened. The white was saying, hey man, we're losing jobs. We can't compete with that. Go and check it out. You don't argue with me. If you bother to read a book, that's what it's all about. It's about economics. And they try to get the Southerners to stop doing it. They try to get, because most of the Southern, not just Southerners, all the slave masters doing it. The North slave masters, all of them was doing it. But they kind of always focus on the Southerners, right? They said, no, we're not going to do it. They said, well, they try to make, I think, the Missouri Compromise, whatever they call it. They said, okay, well, you can do it, but you can't do it in the Western states, the new states. They said, no, we do anything we want to. It's America. And that's where the war started. It was over economics. And Lincoln wasn't about freeing slaves. And the reason why he started freeing slaves, because Lincoln was losing the war. And somebody told him, well, if you tell these niggas you'll free them, you can get them to help fight the war. And that's where the Emancipation Proclamation came about. That's how it came about. Because, okay, if y'all help us fight, we'll free you. And they didn't free a goddamn thing, actually, because put them in slave, that's a whole different thing. You know about the concentration camp, all that kind of stuff. They died of hunger and whatever. Did you get Farracon mule? No, you didn't get any of that. See? And in the North, they didn't have unions back then. They didn't have apprenticeships, right? They didn't have, what's the other thing? Unions, apprenticeships, I forgot the other one, right? They established that to make sure you wouldn't get those jobs, because you had to be a member of the union, apprenticeship, or the, I can't think another thing, right? You remember that? So, and to get a job, that's where they set it up, to keep you from getting those jobs. It wasn't about because they suddenly love you and everything else. I remember my uncle, he's dead now, but he's about the blackest person in the family. He's really dark, right? And family name was McConnell on my mother's side. And they came from Kentucky. Great grandfather, mother's father, Kentucky. You know about anybody named McConnell in Kentucky? Anybody any idea named McConnell in Kentucky? Now my father's side, right? Their last name was Spears, right? And guess where they came from? Louisiana, Monroe, Louisiana. You know anybody Spears in Louisiana, Monroe, Louisiana? You know anybody named Spears in Monroe, Louisiana? You ever heard anybody called Brittany? You ever heard anybody called Mitch McConnell? See, I did research. I know what the fuck happened. So I'm not bound with their mind. I'm in war with their mind. I won't have my mic complete until I defeat their mind, totally eradicate it. So he went and went to school to be a what do you call it, medalist, working medals or whatever, right? Went to school, and then he went and signed for the union, right? And members in the McConnell. So, and the Irish, they was controlling that kind of stuff in New Jersey, right? Like I said, the Irish had like that kind of stuff, right? The Jews had stores and real estate, and the Italians had like the mafia, that kind of stuff, right? So everybody had a piece. Or the Irish, they had also law enforcement. Oh, that's where it was. I ain't making it up. Law enforcement, right? And the kind of jobs like that, the Irish had control of that. That was their territory. mafia, number, all that kind of stuff. Tyrus had that. And plus, he had government. I mean, Adonisio was the big mayor before they had a black guy. Right? So, in Irish, everybody had their piece. So so a job came up, and he went, right? Because they focused on the name McConnell. So he shows up, and the guy said, "What you want? Come get a job. Why? Who sent you here? What's your name?" "My name is Vernon McConnell." He said the eyes blew up because they didn't know it was a nigger coming there. They saw McConnell, and it's Irish, right? Anyway, they didn't do it because they love you. The Civil War was over economics. Okay. And they started apprenticeships, unions, or something, I can't think of the name. And they keep you out of those jobs. It wouldn't help you. Okay. So let's move on. So the point I'm trying to say is that they manipulate information, and so therefore, and right now, like my granddaughter called me not too long ago and said, because she was living in Florida, told me that, what's that guy's name down there, governor? Says, he want to stop teaching black history in schools. and you got a lot of black folks going along with that. Well, we shouldn't teach that because it makes people angry. You goddamn right. Then why'd you do it? Oh, we're not supposed to be angry what you did? And then these folks got nerve enough to tell you, see, it's not enough. It's not enough that they did it. They tell you how you're supposed to feel about it. Oh man, that was 100 years ago, man. You should get over it. I'm gonna get over it after I tear your ass up. I mean, oh man. Because if you had the knowledge that I have, you'd be acting just like I'm acting. If you had it. If you accept that data and process it, it's going to be more than me. I got discipline on mine. If I have discipline, boy, I know I'd be in jail. I went crazy. Because what they did to us, the Bible tells you, they deserve repayment, consequence. What's wrong with consequence? What's wrong with consequence? There's nothing illegal about consequence. Nothing in the Bible says nothing bad about consequence. But Christianity tell you, don't take consequence. That's one of the things they gave you. Start your mind. Oh, just forgive everybody. Show me, I'm gonna get in that in a minute. I don't want to jump the gun. Let me just move on. I'll get back to that. Anyway, that's the bullshit they was telling you. See, all this to confuse you. They tell me, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Mind is not a processing thing. Mind is not something embedded in your brain. It's not a physical thing. It's just data. That's all it is. And you can choose to process, not process it. But your thoughts, your actions is going to be determined by the data you get. You can't go beyond the data. You can't act beyond the data that you have. And they control the data, they control your actions. That's what they're doing. So that's a war, because now the only data you had was data once you have. But now you're getting the data from the message of the covenant, which once he broke the seals, that light coming, now you get a conflict. They saying this, he's saying that. And then your nature is going to be the judge which ones you're going to accept. Your nature is going to be the judge when the fifth factor is missing, gone, removed. Your nature is going to be the judge of which information you're going to accept. Simple as that. Okay? And so that's when you have a big division in a minute, because when he shut the lights out, the only light that's going to be there, everybody's going to be seeing that light, right? So therefore, there ain't going to be any confusion. So the light's going to be clear on both sides. Clear to the demons, clear to the devils, and clear to the original people. But the reaction is going to be different, because they're going to react based on their nature. So the original people will come together. Bam! The devil's going to attack them. Bam! Demons going to attack. Bam! They'll attack demons both. They're going to attack demons and devils, right? Devils going to attack demons and the original, right? But demons going to attack us after we get away from these devils. You understand? So there's going to be a war between us and the demons, because their reaction will be different. their first reaction will be coming together because they've been on attack too, because they're black. See? So it's going to be confusion for them. They are coming together with us for protection, but then the point is, they're going to want us to go along with it. No. It's going to be two different reactions. So they got like a double reaction for them. You understand? Two different reactions. That light's going to have, like the sun hits, some things it burns up, some things it activates, some things it depends on who you are. Your nature is going to determine. That's this. When this light comes on, the angel is so bright. It said, the people said in darkness, said great light is going to be so bright. That's why Elijah was told, you can't make that separation. You let them grow together. Chaff, wheat, let them grow together. Master Covenant will be able to do that. He'll be able to do that. Because that light will be so bright. How do you think he's going to do that? Because he's going to tell by your actions, the way you react to it. Because the devil's going to act violently to it. And you're going to react positively to it and come towards it. They don't try to put it out. Can I make it simple enough for you? Try to put it out. Okay? But they don't go all extreme. They don't try to, they ain't going to make a distinction. They go anything that don't look like them, they're going to attack. But then when we all come together, we will still have that conflict between us and the demons. It tells you right in Exodus, a conflict, because once they were separated, they got to war with each other. You think when Moses told the ones that the message of covenant to go and attack the ones that was Aaron, you think they would just sit there and let be attacked? No, you think they're going to sit there and just let them kill them? No, that's a battle. Battle took place while the war was going on. It's all right there. So that's what's going on. That bright light causes separation. And where's the bright light coming? That's to say, where every time the lamb opened up a seal, things happen because he's the one that's making it happen. But he had to break those seals, right? So now his brain is powerful enough to emit powerful wavelength, powerful frequencies overwhelms theirs. Greater power overcomes lesser power. So it overcomes theirs. That's the war. And they're losing. They get more desperate. See? They're losing. They lose control of us. See? And it's making them more angry. Because this light is angering them. Don't think, you say, oh, this light is just helping out people. It's angering them. Both see the same light. You land on the beach, man, and you black as coal. And the next one next to you, they white as snow. You land on that beach, you ain't laying on that beach too long, because you laying back, man, you mellow. Like, hey, man, bam, I'm getting sunburned, and get the hell up out of there. Two different reactions, same light. That can be so bright, it's going to be like flames to them. But inspiration to you. That some are going to be so inspired, they're going to do exploits. Understand, brothers and sisters? That's what the mind is, just information. That crap he talking about today, I know what they were talking about, and the point is, their days are numbered. I can see clearly what's about to happen to that fool. Their days are numbered. Even the devil is telling you. I mean, I got this one thing the guy's telling you. They're telling you right now. Even if they stop over in the Middle East, everything comes to screeching halt. Famine is coming to America. Depression is coming to America, right? Inflation, everything is coming. Even if they stop right now, everybody start kissing each other's ass over there. And if it blows up, which it will, they say it's going to be worse than depression, worse than anything that America ever experienced. And that's on the horizon. They say if this war, if they break the so-called ceasefire, if they go back to fighting, they said the effect that's going to happen on America be worse than the depression. You won't be able to do anything. And it's going to affect the whole world. The whole world is affected by, and he's talking about this morning about the mind. And he's supposed to be the Messiah. anybody be telling you what you should be doing? How to prepare for it? Because you don't know. That's why I say God told him to shut up, because he told his son, the Messiah, he's supposed to warn. He says, if you don't warn these people, what does it say? If you don't warn them, their blood's on your hands. Ain't that what it said about him? It said, if you don't warn them, the blood's on your hands. So how the hell are you going to tell them to shut up? We ain't telling people what to do. He ain't telling people what to do. He said, the world's going, everybody's on, the whole world is nervous right now. Her world's upset. Her world's, don't know what, panicking. And he's talking about the mind. And he don't know the hell they're talking about. And the mind, you got to have a good mind of God. You got to have a mind like God. Boy, what about sisters? It's amazing. Now listen to this.
That when we are born into the world, we are born into the world knowing nothing. He then asked the question, he said, how can you release the power of mind? He said, brain is not mind. Brain is brain. Mind is the understanding how God's creation has affected you is what creates mind. We have such a master teacher. The Honorable Minister Louis Farracon is just cold. Just cold. There is no comparison. But this brain is the physical, tangible vessel of what is sitting inside of our skulls. But the unseen reality and the unseen power is the mind that is sitting within the brain. Are y'all following me? See, a fighter jet, like the B-2 bomber, listen to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said on page. Listen to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said on page 6 of the powerful and illuminating book, Message to the Black Man. Tell me when y'all ready. This might sting a little, but we're going to read it and we're going to break it down. He said, God is a man. That when we are born into the world, we are born into the world knowing nothing. He then asked the question, he said, how can you release the power of mind? He said, brain is not mind. Brain is brain. Mind is the understanding how God's creation has affected you is what creates mind. We have such a master teacher. The Honorable Minister Louis Farracon is just cold. Just cold. There is no comparison. But this brain is the physical, tangible vessel of what is sitting inside of our skulls. But the unseen reality and the unseen power is the mind that is sitting within the brain. Are y'all following me? See, a fighter jet, like the B-2 bomber,
total bullshit, bro, sisters. There's no mind sitting inside the brain. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The mind's not a thing. It's just data. Your feelings, what you experience, data comes in. You touch things, you feel things, you hear things, you see things. Right? Your environment, that's your mind. the mind we're in right now is a mind created by the devils. Their so-called culture. That's what mind is data. Man, it's stupid. So no, you're right. There's no comparison to Farracon. He's a major shit salesman. I think he'd win the shit salesman of the Century Award. Everything comes out of his mouth is total shit. I mean, know what he's talking about. Okay? And this clown, right? Let's move on to the next one. Sad. Farracon and shit salesman. Let me say this one more thing here, before I forget. See, when you know the truth, I know people don't pay attention to these things. I tell people to start thinking, first of all, I haven't met anybody that thinks, even people that say with the injury, they ain't thinking. They ain't thinking. Like I said, if you don't use a muscle, entrophies. You know what entrophy means? It gets weaker and weaker and weaker. After a while, you can't use it. In the wheelchair's the place, you're comatose. And our brains, we got more. A man, he's naturally more naturally stronger than a woman. But he has to use those muscles, he has to develop them. He's naturally born naturally stronger. But if he's sitting there and use those muscles, weaker and weaker, we got to go out and be able to do anything with them. And then you go, okay, now you want to start. Now it's hard work, man. Start building them up, even if you got money, you go to the gym, you want to be the Hulk, man. It takes a lot of work, hard work. So I give you these ideas and stuff. They didn't want to remember stuff. I tell you, you got to start thinking, because and we're going to talk about it in a minute, you make it home. If you ain't thinking, then you're going to be reduced to a beast. You'll be created like a beast. I don't want them. Somebody got to do all this. The devil is thinking. They create this reality. They're thinking. It may be a low level of thinking, but they are thinking. They think on a level of beast, they are thinking. So this is a big conspiracy nobody ever pay attention to. They tell you that there's this so-called Big Bang Theory, where the universe just boom, exploded and expanding. They said it was the size of an atom. I mean, this is theory. Look it up. The whole universe, the size of an atom, and exploded. They call it Big Bang and expanded. Right? Okay. Now, first of all, what made it expand? What made it blow up? They don't get into all that. Because the reason I don't get into it, that they may in the background, but they didn't get into you, because it says, well, something had to start it. I mean, it was just sitting there. Something had to ignite it. Right? But they say, but now the question, well, we don't know, will the universe contract again? They know it has to, but they can't make that public. You know why they can't teach you the science like that? They can't make it clear like that? Even if maybe they know they don't know, but they knew they can't say it. They don't tell you the universe is going to contract again. They don't tell you. They expand it. You know it can't expand forever. They tell you energy cannot be created or destroyed. They tell you that. That means the universe cannot expand forever. But if you understand how the universe works, right? And in fact, they even said in the Quran, open and close, open and close it. If you understand the universe opens and closes, it can't do it forever. It's always been doing it, always will do it. Remember, expands, contracts, expand forever. That's forever, right? What does that do? See? So you can have a comprehensive thinking. It tells you that Christianity is bullshit. Well, how is that? Because they tell you, you have everlasting life. If you go to heaven, everlasting life, that means life forever. Well, if that's the universe contracts and expands, that means we should already have everlasting life. We should have been here all forever. Because this keeps going on and on forever. Hell, it's been doing it, it's always will do it, and never stop. You understand? Nobody started the universe, it's always just been here. Like the Quran says, always been here, always will be here. The Bible says that too. So that tells you that whole thing about hell and heaven, everlasting life, is impossible. Because if it was, we'd already be in that situation. Because everlasting means we'll always be in it. Forever. There's no starting point. See, if they said that somebody come along, hey man, that would put the end of Christianity right there. Because Christianity tells you that starting point, and then you've been there forever and ever and ever, never no ending. So that means you have to be outside the universe, or if you're in the universe, it's got to end because the universe is going to contract again. It's got to end. But I know you didn't notice that. Let's go to the next one.
Listen to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said on page 6 of the powerful and illuminating book, Message to the Black Man. Tell me when y'all ready. This might sting a little, but we're going to read it and we're going to break it down. He said, God is a man. And we just cannot make him other than man, lest we make him an inferior one. For man's intelligence has no equal in other than man. His mind. In this quote, the Honorable Minister Louis Farracon gives us an equation. And if we look at this phrase, mind is the sum total of your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding how God's creation has affected you is what mind is. In math, that's the equal sign. So your mind is equal to your knowledge, your wisdom, and your understanding, and how God's creation has affected you. Are y'all following me? Mind equals knowledge plus wisdom plus understanding. Well, if this is the formula for our minds, then we need to evaluate these three components. We must ask, and what understanding are we feeding from? Because there are many bodies of knowledges, right? Right or wrong?
What bullshit, bro? Since you want to buy that crap, go ahead and buy it. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding are calculations. That's stuff they're processes. Yes, it's process data to get knowledge. Right? You got a book there, you got to read that book. You get the knowledge out of it. Right? You can accept knowledge or reject knowledge. Somebody's talking, you can listen or not. It's a choice. It's not mine. You have to take it and let the brain take it into the brain. And the brain decides whether you want to accept it or not. Process. Wisdom. Applying that knowledge that you accept, applying it. Where wisdom comes in at. Understanding is against understanding how it fits into everything. Comprehensive. See? That's all things that the brain calculates. That's not mine. Mine is just simply data. Period. So you want to listen to Farracon's math? 2 plus 2 is 22. 5 plus 3 is 53. You want to go on with that bullshit? That's not mine. Okay? Mine is just data, information, period. You prove me wrong. Go on to the next one.
Listen to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said on page 6 of the powerful and illuminating book, Message to the Black Man. Tell me when y'all ready. This might sting a little, but we're going to read it and we're going to break it down. He said, God is a man. And we just cannot make him other than man, lest we make him an inferior one. For man's intelligence has no equal in other than man. His wisdom is infinite, capable of accomplishing anything that his brain can conceive. This last line is very important. Listen closely. A spirit is subjected to us. Woo, Brother Abe, with so much to unpack here. But for the sake of time, we're going to focus on the part about spirit. Come back if you want more first part. Notice how the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, a spirit is subjected to us and not we to the spirit.
Okay, brothers and sisters, you hear what he just said? That's what Elijah Muhammad said. Right? Now let's see what Farracon said about the same subject of what God is. But he said God is man, he said flesh. He can't be anything other than flesh. He's got a brain that's make it physical. Right? He says brain is infinite. That's physical, right? That's what Elijah Muhammad said, right? He says God is a man, and we can just not make him other than man. At least we make him inferior one. For man's intelligence has no equal other than man. There's no equal. His wisdom infinite, capable of accomplishing anything that his brain can conceive. Talking about physical flesh. Isn't that flesh? That's flesh, right? Okay, let's see what Farracon has to say about it.
So long till they don't know the birth record. So they just say from remotest antiquity, this is the house that God used to manifest his wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and power in and through. Where is he now? Wherever he want to be. I'm not going to say I know where he is, but I'm glad his power is everywhere. I think I know where he is. I don't want to say because I could be wrong. But he's wherever he wishes to be. Are we to pray and worship Master Farad Muhammad? You don't worship the flesh of any man because the flesh is going to die. But in that flesh is a wisdom and a power superior to any human being on the earth. So when we look to Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, we look to him. And when he ain't no longer here, the power is going to be here. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he would live a minimum of 400 years, but 400 years ain't no time. He'll be gone. But before he goes, the foundation of what he lays will never be erased from the planet. That's a God. He prays. He prays. He don't pray to himself. You don't say, surely I have turned myself to me. Who does he pray to? He prays in remembrance of him who originated that which he came in. He came in this body. You can't ignore him who originated this. Anyway, it's deep.
Beloved brothers and sisters, one of the greatest practices in all the religions is prayer. The form and style of prayer varies from faith to faith, but prayer is universal. There is no religious community that does not pray. No prophet of God that did not pray. Abraham prayed. Noah prayed. Moses prayed. David prayed. Joseph prayed. Jesus prayed. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, prayed. Master Farad Muhammad prays.
When the Muslims were alive, I'll say it again. When the Muslims were alive, you dead as hell now on both sides.
Yes, sir, brother man. Yes, we are. Yes, sir. That's real, brother man. That's real. Both sides. That's real. Wake us up, dear Papa.
When we was alive, we set up schools.
That's right.
When we were alive, we had supermarkets.
That's right. That's right.
We owned buildings. We owned farmland. We were busy doing something, hiring our people. Well, I'm telling the Muslims, damn it, if you don't come alive, you will die like you are. And I will say, thank you, Allah, because if they're not doing nothing on top of the earth, let the worms eat their ass.
The coming of God, the coming of our Savior. Go ahead, Apostle. He's not a spook. I want you to know that we are trying our best, since we have met face to face with God, to try to remove from you that old idea that God is some spirit that is formless. We want you to get out of that old slavery idea.
Messenger confirmed this. Quote, "The creator of this heaven and earth in which we live, he died. We don't meet with him. We have not met him. I want to teach you these things that you have misunderstood. There is no such thing as a human or any flesh or life, whatever it may be, dies and comes back. It doesn't come back. The white man taught you this, but you never did know what he meant by this." End quote.
So who you gonna believe, brothers and sisters?
Although the Nation of Islam, does not presently advocate violence by its members, the group does preach hatred of the white race and racial separatism. The membership of the Nation of Islam is organized and poses a real racial threat. The Nation of Islam is responsible for the largest black nationalist newspaper, which has been used by other black extremists. The Nation of Islam appears to be the personal fiefdom of Elijah Muhammad. When he dies, a power struggle can be expected and the Nation of Islam could change direction. We should be prepared for this eventuality. We should plan how to change the philosophy of the Nation of Islam to one of strictly religious and self-improvement orientation, deleting the race hatred and separate nationhood aspects. In this connection, Chicago should consider what counterintelligence action might be needed now or at the time of Elijah Muhammad's death to bring about such a change in Nation of Islam philosophy. Important considerations should include the identity, strengths, and weaknesses of any contenders for Nation of Islam leadership. What are the positions of our bureau deletion informants in regard to leadership? How could potential leaders be turned or neutralized? The alternative to changing the philosophy of the Nation of Islam is the destruction of the organization. This might be accomplished through generating factionalism among the contenders for Elijah Muhammad's leadership or through legal action in probate court on his death. Chicago should consider the question of how to generate the factionalism necessary to destroy the Nation of Islam by splitting into several groups, bureau deletion. Do you think that the FBI just folded and walked away? Read this document carefully. Did not the FBI accomplish each of their goals? Did not Farracon deliver everything the FBI wanted? We should plan to change the philosophy of the Nation of Islam to one of strictly religious and self-improvement orientation. Sunniism, Scientology. Deleting the race hatred. Don't call devils anymore. Deleting the separate nationhood aspects. We ain't going nowhere. No existing economic program. The reason why these facts are ignored is because those that surround him are demons, fools, idolaters and FBI agent handlers who make sure he stays on track.
My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will. You are now turning your face from your own native land, turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seek to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel? Acting safe. And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment, condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you are free. Remember that. We want an equal education so that you will know better. But
beloved brothers and sisters, one of the greatest practices in all the religions is prayer. The form and style of prayer varies from faith to faith, but prayer is universal. There is no religious community that does not pray. No prophet of God that did not pray. Abraham prayed. Noah prayed. Moses prayed. David prayed. Joseph prayed. Jesus prayed. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, prayed. Master Fard Muhammad prays.
The goddamn lie. Master Muhammad didn't pray to anybody. Prove me wrong. He didn't pray to anybody. I've never tried his bullshit like that. He's a God. He don't pray to anybody. And he's a functional error because he says all religion. No, Buddhists don't pray. They don't pray to anybody. They chant. They don't pray. I don't pray to anybody either. Gods don't pray. I recite 5 pillars of Islam. And then, so who's lying here? Because he's telling you Master Muhammad prays. But Elijah Muhammad said God's man can be anything other than man. But Farracon says, no, you can't. Say Master Muhammad's flesh. See, it's contradictions. So who's right? Elijah Muhammad says, are you going to tell me that he's representing Elijah Muhammad's teachings? You're a goddamn liar. You're a fool, a liar. If you present that, so show your proof. Farracon says you can't worship Muhammad because he's flesh. And I mean, that boy is so dumb. You want to, how can people, you want to, is everybody retarded or what? He's telling you that not only do Master Muhammad pray, he's a God. Gods don't pray to anybody. But now he tell you that's a lie and he can't prove it. There's no evidence that whatsoever. But not only on top of that, because Elijah Muhammad said he recited, Master Muhammad recited, he walked around 6 to 8 hours a night reciting, which I think is a Quran. He said Elijah Muhammad said history, but he didn't specify. But I'm pretty sure he's talking about the Quran, but I can't say for definite. But he recited. He didn't pray. That's what he did while everybody was sleeping. His face back, that's what Elijah Muhammad said. So, but if he's praying, then who's he praying to? See, and what's ridiculous about this whole thing? He's saying, man, he prays, but remember, he can't be praying to flesh. So he's praying to the originator, who's 72 trillion years dead, and worse than that, you ain't even praying to him. You're praying to his memory. Well, I was getting ready to throw an F-bomb out there, boy, I tell you. It's hard to restrain myself on this, because this shit is so effed up. He praying to a goddamn memory. What is memory going to do for you? Why waste time for it? What can you profitably gain from praying to a goddamn memory? With Farracon, he's a shit salesman. And you remind somebody, he don't have to call it honey anymore. He just say, the shit. That's what I'm saying all the time. He'll tell you. He don't have to waste his time trying to convince you that shit's honey. He'll sell straight out shit. Straight out shit. Down here. I'm down since I'm going to destroy myself over here. Straight up shit. Because anybody by that got to be retarded or demon or just total idiot. Tell me, what benefit can you possibly get from praying to a goddamn memory? That's what he says. We'll play it again. So that's why I said those with him, they don't get the same punishment he gets. They will have no recourse. Nobody gonna say, I'm sorry. Nobody gonna hear it. Because they tell you. They say once the judgment takes place, they tell you the Quran, it's too late to be sorry then. Too late. When you see the angels coming on their way, too late then. Come on, brothers and sisters. It's not Gog and Magog. Now I cover a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna cover a few more things, but that was shit show. handle it. And now why are you talking about that? All of a sudden, why? I've been talking about the mind. See, they're trying to counter what I'm saying. They're in defense mode. See, if you're fighting, right? See, you can tell if them is hurting because they're in defense mode. They're gonna fight back. If they're dead. So they're gonna now. I've been explaining to everybody what the mind. So now they're gonna come and try to explain what the mind is. They're in defense mode. They're trying to blunt what I'm saying. It's no coincidence. I talk about something, then they all of a sudden that's their subject. Now the world is going on. All the world right now is focused. All eyes are focused on the Middle East. All countries are focused on it. Every country is worried about it because what's happening is going to pack here. It's going to pack Farracon. It's going to pack his. So how can we not prepare these people for it? How can we? Oh, God will be quiet. They're talking about bullshit. That's part of what's going to destroy them. Because when Master Muhammad shut this whole system down, you're going to turn the lights out. How are you going to do it? Because of what fuels the lights? Oil. You're going to turn it out. So, well, America got plenty of oil. Well, do they? You better watch this other the guy explain that. He says they got about 60 days supply, 60 day, 2 months supply of Strategic Petroleum Reserve, SPR, Strategic Petroleum, no, SPR. But when they shut down, when he shut down the Middle East, right? You're going to shut the lights out, they're going to control the oil. That's going to affect the whole planet. The whole planet's nervous. The whole planet will be thrown into darkness. This whole reality is fueled by oil. They tell you chapter 18, Europe going to go into immediate total economic collapse, which means they're going to be looking around to get oil from someplace, and the first place they're going to get it from is Russia, because they can't get from America. Even though they could get from America, it would take too long to get there. They can't fly it over. So the most immediate access is to Russia. So they're going to go nicey nice with Russia. That's going to put all American base in Europe on alert. Because now Europe has turned against America, and all their bases are, what they call it, non grata, right? Once your ass out of there, so they're going to be on attack. That's what Armageddon is, Farracon. Remember you said Farracon 3 years ago? Before he said God told him to be quiet? You seen Armageddon? That's Armageddon. European war. So America would have to rush to the Middle East to protect their forces. They got base all over Europe. These guys, they have to rush. They're going to be kicked out of Europe. They're going to be kicked out of the Middle East. This war is going to see them kicked totally out. They're almost out already. I've been telling you about this for years. They'll be totally out. Paul Caesar's going to be surrounded under siege on his deathbed. We see Jerusalem surrounded by armies on his deathbed. That's going to alert us here. I'm not going into all the details. So America totally out. They're going to run to Europe. They're going to be non grata. I can't first. So now they got to rush to protect this bases and troops in Europe. But Europe's turned against America on the side of Russia. So now America's at war over the Middle East, over Europe, between Russia and Europe, who's turned against them. So that means they're going to come with all the oil that's in America to fight that war. That means total economic collapse here too. So with all they have, they won't be accessed to the public. Military purposes. Trump's going to be the most hated person in the world. He thought Gaddafi was bad. They're going to do worse to him than they did to Gaddafi. Oh, when this war says Iran's going to come at them, Master Muhammad's going to be with them. Master Muhammad's Michael. He'll be with them. He's going to direct it. Right? He's going to make himself known. Not only to Shia, but you're going to see a big shock all across the world because this unknown figure just showed up in Iran, and all the Shias, it's like big, like wow. Excitement, super excitement. So all he got to do is land down there in one of those small planes, and that's the case goes. He's that 12th man. Ain't gonna be no argument, ain't gonna be conversation. That's the lightning, shining east even to the west. And his first act's gonna be is a point, because everybody they're gonna know, they may not agree who he is, but they're gonna know he's there. Because she is gonna know, because they're gonna celebrate, they're gonna bow to him. We saw excitement. The 12th man is showing up. Right? They'll come after you. They'll come after false Israel in America, a whirlwind. So excitement. And when his first act's going to be, it says, that's my son I'm well pleased. He's going to identify who represents him over here, who's the true son of man. The whole world's going to know. Lightning strike from east, even to the west. That lightning bolt, lightning carries heat, light, and energy. And it's going to be illumination for our people, but fire for the devil. Remember I told you, it's the division, day of division, right? That data is coming on the waves of that lightning bolt. Energize that lightning bolt. Boom. See, because angel, certain wavelength frequency, but you got amplitude. You know what amplitude is? You get a big force from. You have a light on, but all of a sudden lights get, a lot of amplitude get brighter. It's so bright. People said dark is great light. So who's going to receive that light? That's right, east, even to the west. That's what's going to cause misplaced fear, because it's going to be lit up over there. There'll be total destruction. They're going to soak the stands with blood. False Israel is going to be totally on siege, devastated, slowly and horribly. They're going to go down a very horrible way. It's a no escape. Cannibalism, Bobby's sons, saying their fathers. Everything they did to Gaza is going to happen to them in a very short period of time. All of it. That's what's about to happen here, brothers and sisters. That's this war. When that lightning hits here, it's going to burn Farracons, and all these people's ass up. It's going to burn their ass up. They'll be jumping like popcorn, like hitting their ass. Thrones are cast down. In ancient days, do set. Lightning bolt gonna burn their ass. You gonna call him Farracon? No, he ain't. That's my Farracon mark. Oh, please, stop tormenting me. Legion, right? Please stop tormenting me. I don't want, let me leave the country. He's crying now. He's talk bad at first. He's talking, please stop begging. And that's the process how people getting their minds back. See how this comes together? Minds back. Because the light's so bright, this reality is almost totally gone. It's not totally gone yet because the devil's still fighting. But economic side is gone, right? That's gone. Government side is gone. Almost all of it's gone. The light's not totally out yet. Because the devil's going to be fighting and killing and gambling and everything else. When we go out today, totally eradicated. Now people getting their minds, as they move out here, their mind will be totally installed once they get out of here. Because they'll be in their own mind, their own environment. Away from this, getting pure data, mathematical data. Not this bullshit. Mathematical data. Proven. No spirits, no spooks. Everything's mathematical. That's what's about to happen, brothers and sisters. Like all these lies, deceptions, all of a sudden that 5 years where everything is, spirits and spooks, God's spirit, see, they was right in front of your face, they tell you, no. They want you, if they tell you spirit spook, you couldn't, man hold a gun to your head and make sure you better keep your eyes closed. See? So when your eyes closed, you can't see you got a gun right to your head. That don't mean the gun ain't there just because you can't see it. They close your eyes. Spirits and spooks, when spirit spooks right in front of you. Ain't no spirits and spooks. Lies about heaven. Told you heaven was someplace after you die. Hell was someplace after you die. It was all lies, all deception. That's what Gog and Magog was supposed to do. Gog and Magog, this season of Gog and Magog. It tells you right, chapter 20, but they deceive you about it. They told you that's in the future. We're in the season of Gog and Magog right now. They have a 500-year season. We're in the season of Gog and Magog right now. America and Britain, they will control the whole planet. Adam, who is given rulership for a season, and we be in submission. The jinn is on it too. They got all kinds of little tricks they go over there. See, they so wicked, so weak, right? They target the female. Because they know good and well our women are strong, they're intelligent. They ain't gonna bound that shit over there, go here. Oh, you gotta walk behind the man, you gotta kiss his ass, and you got and this and that. Our women ain't gonna do that. Our women walk side by side with us. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Male and female, it tells you right there. Gotta walk behind, kiss our butt, can't say nothing, can't read, can't write unless we tell you. Man, who wants a goddamn robot anyway? If they're your heaven, you want them to be everything you want them to do with it. If they are heaven, you don't want to restrain them at all. Why would you want to restrain it? If you got pilots you lack, why would you want to restrain it? Why would you want to restrain your heaven? Like Muhammad, don't you pay attention to these things he tell you? He said, there are heaven. Then why would you want to restrain your heaven? You want to give heaven maximum freedom. Because the more freedom they got, the better your heaven is. But as soon as you got it all backwards, the women suppressed. And they're the biggest cowards over there anyway. They're the jinn. No, that's not a mistake. That's not an indictment. That's a fact. They're the jinn, refused to submit to Adam. They've been at war with Adam for 500 years. The only nation that's refused to submit to their technology, to their ideology, to their government, to their economics, all of it. Only one. That's them. See? They're the ones kept them locked up for 1,000 years, just like it says. And they broke out. Now, they haven't had victory against them for 500 years. But we submitted. So who's the real Muslims? Farracon tell you, no, we got dappy hair because we were rebellious. No, we the ones submitted. That's why we get reward. But he said we ain't getting no reward, right? Listen to Farracon, you see what he's saying? We're not getting reward. Why are we getting reward? We said, no, he said we're going to get reward. We're taking back our home. And we're going to be led here by Joshua, the real Messiah. Well, Pharaoh will leave you in a wheelchair. In fact, he said he ain't going anywhere. In fact, in Mark, he said, I don't want to go nowhere. And we got more tapes saying, I don't want to leave him around. I'm going to have the America. God's he's going to come and tear his place apart. I don't see nothing happen to it. So how you in God's will? How you obey God's will? We're in submission. We're not only Muslim, we are Allah. We are Allah. This is the form Allah takes during this period of time. Male and female. That's it. Male and female. That's it. Male and then female. Like Adam. Adam, then no female came along afterwards. So that's part of what jinn do. So they make women, man, I don't want to be part of that. So man, how they gonna respond to that? Because it's like in the Christian church, right? The women wouldn't come in, wouldn't buy anybody in there. The women just want to draw the men in. So that's one attack. By suppressing women And so our women don't be bothered with that. Not the real ones. Demons, I don't know what the hell they want to do. You ever heard about Sheba? She sound like she gonna kiss somebody's ass and walk behind them, pick up their shoes. I've been talking about Sheba. I'm going to talk about her a little more, but she's on the way. She no servant. She's a goddess. She rules. She rules the whole country. In fact, she's ruling the Levites. You pick up on that one, did you? And she come to Solomon, seeking wisdom. She ain't stupid. As a question, you don't just fall down. And Solomon lifted her up as equal. Read the story. That's our women. Anybody I catch putting our women or hurting them any kind of way or pimping them, there's another universe, you better find it. Or you better make a business and recover fast. Right now it's the time of the male. Why? Because it's war, black and white. We see things black and white. They see things in color, so we love that. Not right now. We get home, then all those colors come out. And we just lay back and enjoy the colors. Hypnotized by those colors, boy. Oh, come on, baby. Oh, man, all those beautiful colors, man. We got to be careful, man. We mess around. Right. Lose control of ourselves, man. I mean, these women, woo. We ain't seen them yet. Look how they are. Look how they are right now. That's nothing compared to where they're going to be when they get home. When they got their own minds, got their own land, own control. Right? Then we become their slaves. So we protect them, secure. And there's, right? We don't need drugs. You'll see. God, Mama said they are heaven. Do you break that? What it means? That means you don't restrain your heaven. You spot, you fuel it. You want to need more of what they are. You don't restrain it. Like I saw a thing about this lion, this male lion, right? Yeah, a video. The male lion is laying down his back, right? About 5 female lions. They were just biting him. He was loving it. He wasn't trying to get up. He was biting on him, scratching. He was just, boys. Well, brothers and sisters, God can make up. Whole thing's about deception. Everything's spirits, spooks, right? They store everything about how the universe works. They don't do anyway. Jesus, they made that up. Show me where the name Jesus existed before 5 years ago. I'll kiss your ass. Did not exist. It's a made-up name. Come from Greek. Jesus, Zeus. Zeus the god, didn't put G in front, which is a Greek prefix for earth. Jesus, that's where it came from the King James Bible. And they broke away from the Catholic Church. Christianity did not exist before 5. Show me, prove me wrong. It's in the lessons. There was Catholics. All this stuff 5 years ago designed to keep you asleep, dead, whatever. Mindless. No, they didn't want you mindless. They want you with their mind. You might be better off mindless. That's what they did. And so the only way we can have our mind, they took us out of our mind and gave us their mind. But if you understand what mind is, that means you got to get the hell out of here. Let me say one more thing about that and close, brothers and sisters. See, you don't understand these stories. Why did God tell? Now, he said, let my people go. But there was a threat if he didn't, plagues. So in other words, if the people left, there wouldn't be the plagues, right? I mean, you put that together? They left, there wouldn't be the plagues. So what's caused the plagues? See? The problem is, we was causing the plagues because out of 45, because they knew that we could not take more than 40 years of this shit. We could eat shit for 40 years. I mean, they're not liking it. Okay, we hang in there because that's what it said. The Bible tells us they would force us to eat shit. Could we put up with that? Right? Didn't want to do it. Maybe not women. I mean, I said that's something we could just tolerate. We was told to submit to it and say, okay. That's one of the hardest things we ever did. Like when Abraham was told to sacrifice his son, one of the hardest thing he ever did. Said, no, so, it's not that we like, now women suffer more than we did. That's why you better not fuck around with our women anymore. I don't care whether you're black, green, or yellow. You've been warned. You've been doing, you better get straight quick. They suffer more than anybody. More than us. We can protect, and then other we suffer the humiliation, right? I've seen our women being abused like that and couldn't do anything about it. And that's when you messed up with us. Male pride. Nobody has more male pride than we do when it comes to our women. Nobody has more male pride than we do as our women. It's just hidden right now. But when tribulation comes, it's going to be let loose. You don't want that. You don't want us to let. You don't want to see that happen. Y'all should just let us go. It says when wrath of God said in chapter in 6th seal, they said people was hiding. They said they was trying to commit suicide to keep from facing us. The wrath of God. That's what you fucking around with. But you'll see in a minute. I know you ain't listening. That's why I don't talk about it that much. But it says the only way you could avoid that destruction, you gotta let people go. You gotta let us go immediately. By transportation, you can't wait till tomorrow. By transportation, everything else gets out of here and transfers back to military. You ain't gotta worry about what we do when we get there. We'll take care of that. That's what it says. Because we caused the plagues by holding us here. Because once we leave here, that the last plague is burning this place down. That's why God told you, let them go. Because they're about to explode on your ass. We held you down, held them down in submission for 40 years. But now, hey, they about to blow. And you're going to be around when they do. That's what's about to happen. It's a process happening now. So they come together, see the great army, not see the great social group, see the great army. And the only way you can avoid it is to let them go right now, immediately. Let them go. Open the doors, provide transportation, everything else. All 17 million of us, transport them back to Arabia. Immediately. Because you already suffered 2 plagues, COVID and plague of flies. You don't even know what plague of flies is, but you're suffering. And you got 7 more. That's worse. He said, let them go. That's why I told you let them go. So you hold on. Let them go. Now people go. This war is going to sell everything between us and you. And the demons. We don't want, they ain't going with us. But during this war, it says, the accused of our brethren is cast down. Farracon is days in them. It's hours in them, we'll put that away. It says those people in here, they must suffer the most grievous chastisement. I wonder where that could be. God can make God, guys. We're in that season now. That's not the future. That's the history. Chapter 20. And here, I'm going to close out in a minute, brothers and sisters. Say you keep out Christianity. All you got to ask them, show me what period of time was that stuff y'all claim ever practiced. Goodwill towards all men, forgiveness, love, right? Judge not, ye be not judged. Tell me, at what point, this remember, for 1,000 years, There was total chaos in Europe. It was a total worse than a shithole. It was only Europe. It wasn't China, wasn't Africa, wasn't Asia, wasn't Hawaii, it wasn't Australia. Only the Dark Ages was in Europe for 1,000 years was held bound by Abraham's Islamic empire, resurrected empire. Prophet Muhammad didn't build that. He didn't build Mecca. He didn't build the black Kaaba. He didn't build any of that. That was Abraham built that. They don't tell you that. That's another exception. So when they came out, that's what did Christians do? The age of Christianity is the age of Gog and Magog. And what was the age of Christianity like? Murder, rape, disease, destruction, Islamization, the genocide, theft. That's what the last 5 years has been about. So when the fuck was that stuff? That's Christianity. And they're going to tell our false Israel, which thing they're doing? They're following their steps. Everything they're doing is what America did to get this place. Genocide, theft, murder. So how you gonna blame them? When you did them 10,000 times worse. That's what no tree by fruits it bears. This is what is Christianity bears. It's the religion of Satan. We can prove it if you read Daniel. Show me where all this good they tell our Christians. Show me what point in time was that ever manifest in this world. War, rumors of war, murder, genocide, biological warfare, atomic warfare, disease. You name it. That's a legacy of Christianity. Now show me the era where all this everybody was nice and loving and helping and brotherly love. Show me when that ever happened. Last 5 years. 2,000 years when we go back to Catholicism, which wasn't Christianity, they call themselves Catholics. Jesus is a name they made up as part of deception. They thought Christianity, because the Christianity gave you is forgive master. That was one of their fallback positions. Because if we rise up, don't take revenge, be good Christians. Just forgive them. Right? Don't judge them. Just forgive them. Like hell. Says God says, I ain't come to bring peace. I come get vengeance. And vengeance is mine, says the Lord. That's Christianity. So tell me a different. Tell me when all this great Christianity stuff you be telling everybody, tell me when that existed. Tell me when it's ever practiced. Tell me. This is what's been practiced. Evil, destruction, genocide, murder, rape. That's what Christianity is. It's a religion of Satan. Read Daniel, that's Satan on that throne, on that cross. These all stuff. Racism, terror. You maintain the so-called, maintain what they call slavery, Holocaust. You maintain with terror. They terrorize us 24/7, 365, 40 years. You maintain with terror, constant terror, terror, morning and night. It is. When they've been loose, Satan should be loose out of prison after 1,000 years. That's happened. And that's Gog and Magog. They'll go see the whole world, and they have. The whole world in darkness for their bullshit. They brought war upon the planet. They brought disease upon the planet. You know, they said millions of, I don't know how many, they said somewhere around millions of natives in this country died simply from so-called common cold. Because that was a disease to them, because nobody had a cold before. Can you believe that? Because they brought that there. They brought the bubonic plague, smallpox, the evil, wicked people. They didn't believe in taking baths, right? They thought I was wrong, all this stuff. They brought this all over the world. China wasn't invading Vietnam. Vietnam wasn't invading Australia. Australia wasn't invading, they weren't called different names, right? Wasn't invading Africa. Everybody was invading, everybody was in their own place. This is what Christianity brought. God and Magog. And Satan. That's religion of Satan. Tell me I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. Show me when all this so-called good Christian stuff taking place. Chapter 20. Read it. This is the devil trying to jump. He had control everybody, all the nations, just couldn't control Joshua. And I said, heck with you, I ain't about on you. And here's our enemies. It says, you read this backwards. And I see all nations be blessed. That's your energy. That means all the nations are living off your energy. They live your blessings, your energy. So what are you doing there? They're living off of it, all the nations. So you don't have any. They got you unbound. America lived off your labor, enslavement, affliction. For Israel, lived by ID, claiming us so they get blessings. Because if he blesses Israel, we bless, who curse Israel. He said, no, we Israel. You got to bless us. They got stuff, energy, our creativity. They start identity. You got Ishmael. They sold this slave. Remember the story of Joseph, and took our land. Now in Arabia, all North Africa, Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia, right? Palestine, all of that. That was our lands where they stole the slave and took them. Right? Betrayed us. Then you got Farracon, multimillionaire, got control of the nation. Everybody getting rich off of us. He ain't practicing a lot of Muhammad's teachings. All the nation. And they get enough of our creativity, from our creativity, because we the one, our creativity established the AI age and the agricultural age. I mean, in the industrial age. And so it's about season. Lies about season. Because seasons, heaven's the place after you die. No, heaven is the next season. I said, every 24,000 years, they write history, every 24,000 years, right? There's 6,000 year periods. There's 4 of them. There's 4 seasons. And Yakub was the winter season. And now you go winter, spring. Spring is the new reality, the new nations coming in, the new season. It's not a place you go after you die. They told you that. So they told you winter's going to be forever. Because we didn't know there was the seasons. Where Elijah Muhammad came and told you 24,000 years, you didn't know about the season. You thought the way it is was always going to be. And that's what he had you thinking. But they didn't tell you. Seasons coming, spring coming in. When spring comes in, what happens? That destroys winter. But we're summer people. So spring, we love spring. We love summer even more. But spring destroys winter. So global warming, that's a sign of spring. It's bad for them. All their power is in hail, snow, earth. All that's melting, all their power, that's why everything is off. You understand? It's simple. But if you're going to if you're going to take and transit from winter to summer, transition, right? You got to go to spring. We need a God of spring. That's Master Muhammad. He's half winter, half summer. That's why he's like that. And as Muhammad said, he would rule for 6,000 years, then he would return back to tribe of Shabazz. There it is. So he's a spring, and he's at war with the winter. Who's going to win that one? How can he's a spring god, he's going to war with the winter. That's what's happening right now. Who's going to win that one? But now you got another person that's trying to prevent the spring. Because they're a winter person, they're the opposite. That's why Master Muhammad's half summer, half winter. That's a transition. But you got another transition figure that's trying to prevent the spring from coming in. He's winter, trying to prevent the spring. The spring is destroying the winter, right? To bring in the spring. But you got another transition. Say, hey, we want to prevent the spring from coming in, going to the winter. That's Farracon. He's half and half too. He's half winter, half summer. Right? On the opposite side. His father's the devil. His mother's summer. Is that a coincidence? He's the one trying to tell us, they're in the winter, I like it here. Trying to get you not to understand there's a spring. Because you thought you had to die to go to heaven. You're right, heaven is three. Heaven is a place, the Middle East, right? It's a season. Spring season is coming in. And it's a condition. Hell, That's what we've been in for the last 5 years. Now we're getting ready to go into try to transit towards heaven. All these lies, the darkness put us in. And before me, you had no idea any of this stuff. That's how dark it was. Now people, now they see, you should bet, don't like President Mark, I see now, the hell, I'm out of here. Now you should understand more than anybody the good situation, our people in. And so now you should be able to get information. You're trying to convince anybody. Every time you put information out, like I said, you put information out to hit them, you got to convince them. Because then you got that's a fight. You go, no. Information, they're going to see the information, and then it's going to be contrary to information they've been getting. And then nature's going to decide which one is going to have to be a conflict, and they're going to decide which one to take and which one to reject. When you see a conflict, the brain looks at it, and it's going to decide in favor of its nature. Well, this, I like this one. Your lack is based on what your nature. I like vanilla ice cream. Right? Well, why you like? Because it works with your nature. So when you hear composing information, when you're going to lack and when you don't lack. Our people will lack this information. Say, no, they ain't been trained to like devil stuff. They're going to lack when they hear it. That's why they will come together suddenly when they hear it. But I would say, well, I've been trained to like. No, you can train someone to eat. You can train somebody to love vanilla ice cream, eat chocolate. That's all it is. And once you see vanilla, they go back to eating it. You can train that line all you want to, but once he got that cage, he go back to being like he was. So I ain't no fear of that. Once you put information out there, once you get through, there's a conflict between that and that. They're going to reject. That's against their nature. That's just a fear factor. And so they start moving closer to it. Till they get to a inflection point where they decide, well, all this stuff must be no damn good. That's what's going to happen. Because if we wait till they check every piece out, it would be another 10 years, 20 years. And I would say those days be short. Short those days, so therefore they'll come to an inflection point and say, damn, man, all that stuff must be bad. They ain't gonna check it all, just drop it all. Why? But ain't no American dream. They ain't there. Yeah, they are devils. They're attacking us. They ain't gonna be the question. They're devils. They're attacking you. You see what I'm saying? You get it? Ain't no question that you got somebody over in the Middle East that's God. Everybody, he's saying it. Plus, he's the only one got some light. So ain't no question that he's the midst of the covenant. See? So that's an inflection point. Boom. But that's how much going to cause that? He's the one, remember, he caused the midst of the covenant to light up. Remember, he's the one he's in control of this affair. Midst of the covenant's doing his job over here, but he's going to send that lightning bolt, bam! That's a great light. So it's come by him doing what he's doing, plus, right? Well, shit, this American dream that put everything in darkness, that's Muhammad doing that. See? And then the devil attacking us. So he's still a God. He's still in control. So he's kicking this thing off. I'm still in submission to him. I would say he the only one knew when it's going to happen. No one knew, just him. So he's going to make that boom, that lightning strike east, even to the west. Bam. That's going to energize his truth. Plus him saying, "That's my son." Two together, boom. And say, ain't going to be no question. That's what the covenant is. And it's going to be only light. It's going to be very bright. Because over the darkness is blocking. This whole reality is shut down. So it's no conflict. That's an inflection point. All that shit is bad. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, well, I got to check. No. Ain't no question. American dream is dead. No question the devil's attacking you. See what I'm saying? No question you got power because your God's over the Middle East, shut everything down. He's the one in control. He's saying, Those my people there. That's my son right there, I'm well pleased. Those my people. Fuck with it if you want to. He ain't coming playing around. Coming to kick ass, wrath. He's a warrior. Master Muhammad is a warrior. Lord, no, sisters. She had to come. Watch, this is here. The devil's about to cry.
Oh, Nima, and I keep telling people this, watch out. When we collapse, we're going to collapse with a loud, loud bang, and people's lives are going to be ruined. It's not going to just be $8 a gallon at the pump. It's going to be you can't afford anything. You can't even afford to eat. You can't afford to have a roof over your head. You certainly can't afford all those things you've been thinking about, like a college education for your children and so forth. That's where we're headed. And we're doing it to ourselves.
He's in tears. That was Colin Powell. You know who Colin Powell was? That was his sister. Hey, brothers and sisters. Took the time to explain it clearly. That's just what it's about. That's what it's about being manifest. Shut down, cancel. Super darkness. But it's in your favor. Keep your eyes open, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.